Someone just disrespected you. You are standing in a room, maybe it's a boardroom, or just a dinner with some friends. Someone looks you dead in the eye and delivers an intentional insult. Maybe they dismiss your hard work with a smirk. Maybe they mock your ambitions in front of a crowd. They've decided, in a split second, that you are not worthy of their respect. In that moment, your biology takes over. Your heart rate spikes. Your face flushes. A heat begins to rise from your chest to your throat. You want to explode. You want to scream. You want to tear their ego down and show them exactly who they are dealing with. But wait, this is the exact moment where your future is decided. This is the crossroads where the powerful separate themselves from the powerless. The weak react. The powerful respond. And within that tiny, silent gap, the space between the insult and your choice, lies the secret to absolute psychological dominance. Niccolò Machiavelli understood this over 500 years ago. He watched the most ruthless princes of Italy rise to glory and saw the most emotional ones lose their heads to the executioner. He realized that power doesn't care about your hurt feelings. It cares about results. Today, I am handing you the keys to that kingdom. This is not a guide on how to get petty revenge. This is a blueprint for a total internal transformation. By the time this video ends, you will see disrespect differently. You will handle it with a cold, surgical precision. You will become the kind of person who is simply untouchable by the words and actions of lesser minds. Sit down, lock in, listen to every word. Because what you are about to learn will change the way you move through this world forever. Section 1. The hidden nature of disrespect. Before you can conquer disrespect, you must understand its true anatomy. Most people think disrespect is a personal attack on their character. They believe the person insulting them is making a factual statement about their worth. They are wrong. Disrespect is almost never about you. It is a probe. It is a psychological test sent out by people who are deeply uncertain of their own position in the world. Think of it as a sonar ping. They are pushing against you to see how you resonate. They want to know if you are a predator who must be feared or a victim who can be dominated. Machiavelli understood that every human interaction is a silent, invisible negotiation for status. Every room you enter is a chessboard of hidden hierarchies. People are constantly calculating. They are watching your posture, your eye contact, and your reactions. The moment they detect a crack in your armor, a flicker of insecurity, or a desperate need for approval, they will drive a wedge into it. This is human nature stripped of its polite mask. When someone attempts to belittle you, they are actually revealing their own hand. They are showing you, quite clearly, that they feel threatened by your presence. A man who is truly secure in his power has no need to tear others down. He has nothing to prove. But the small-minded, the envious, and the mediocre, they are haunted by your potential. Your very existence irritates them because it reminds them of what they aren't. They strike first, hoping to cut you down to size before you rise so high they can no longer reach you. This is why the first rule of the Machiavelli Blueprint is this: never take disrespect personally. The second you take it personally, you have surrendered your power. You have handed them the emotional reaction they were hunting for. You have confirmed that their words have the authority to dictate your internal state. And in the game of power, perception is the only reality that matters. Machiavelli famously wrote that it is better to be feared than loved. But what he truly meant was that it is better to be an enigma than a book that is easily read. When people cannot predict how you will respond to their provocations, they become paralyzed by caution. They hesitate, and in that hesitation, you control the frame. Section 2. The anatomy of the weak man. Let's look at the trap that consumes the majority of the population. I want you to see exactly what weakness looks like so you can recognize it in yourself and others. A weak man gets disrespected, and he becomes a puppet. His strings are pulled by the aggressor. He thinks he is showing strength by being loud. He thinks that if he shouts over the other person or threatens them with violence, he is defending his honor. But look closer. Everyone in the room sees a child. They see a man whose emotions can be hijacked by anyone with a sharp tongue or a condescending look. This is the ultimate vulnerability. If I know what makes you angry, I own you. I can trigger you at the time of my choosing and watch you destroy your own reputation while I stay perfectly calm. Anger is not power. Anger is a confession of fragility. Every emotional outburst is a signal to the world that you are easily manipulated. Machiavelli warned that a leader must never act out of passion. Passion blinds the intellect. It makes your moves predictable, and in the arena of power, predictability is a death sentence. The weak man also suffers from an obsession with the immediate. He cannot wait. He feels he must fire back instantly to save face. He speaks without thinking, often uttering something petty or foolish that makes him look even smaller than the original insult did. He doesn't understand that time is a weapon. He gives away his leverage in seconds because he cannot tolerate the temporary discomfort of being still. He confuses volume with dominance. He thinks that if he has the last word, he has won. But the winner is not the one who talks the most. The winner is the one who maintains control of the situation. This is why most men stay powerless their entire lives. They are slaves to their own biology. They are reactive animals, not strategic thinkers. But you are watching this because you want to be different. Section 3. The Machiavellian Mindset. Now, let me introduce you to a different kind of man. This is the strategist. This is the man who operates on a level that most people cannot even comprehend. When the Machiavellian is disrespected, he feels the same biological surge you do. He isn't a robot, but he has trained himself to create a barrier between his feelings and his actions. He acknowledges the anger, he notes the insult as a piece of data, and then he sets it aside like a tool he doesn't need right now. He asks himself one cold, surgical question. What move puts me in the best position for the long term? This is the essence of emotional detachment. It is the ultimate weapon. When you detach from the need to win a petty argument, you gain an array of options that the reactive man never sees. You can choose to ignore the insult, effectively making the other person invisible. You can choose to smile, making them feel like they've missed the mark. Or you can choose to wait, storing the information for a strike that will be far more devastating later. This unpredictability is terrifying to others. When you remain unbothered by what should hurt you, people start to wonder what you know that they don't. They begin to fear the depth of your self-control. Machiavelli understood that emotions are a form of energy. When you react, you are giving your energy to the other person. You are feeding their ego. But when you remain detached, you keep your energy. You stay centered. You are like a mountain that the wind tries to move. The wind eventually tires itself out, but the mountain remains. You are not here to win a shouting match. You are here to rule your own life. And to rule your life, you must first rule your own mind. You must reach a state where no one, no matter how clever or cruel, can force you into an action you didn't choose yourself. Section 4. Silence as the ultimate dominance. There is a weapon available to you right now that costs nothing, requires no physical strength, yet can break a man faster than any physical blow. That weapon is silence. Most people are terrified of silence. They feel the need to fill the air with noise. But in the world of power, silence is a vacuum that sucks the confidence out of your opponent. When someone insults you, and you respond with absolute, unwavering silence, the power dynamic shifts instantly. You have denied them the one thing they crave most: validation. By not responding, you are communicating, without saying a single word, that this person is so insignificant that they do not even warrant the energy required to speak. Silence forces the attacker to sit in the chaos they just created. They expected a back and forth. Instead, they are left standing alone, looking like a loud-mouthed fool while you remain composed. This is how you snatch the frame of the interaction. You are no longer playing their game. You are forcing them to wonder what your silence means. Machiavelli knew that the one who controls the frame controls the outcome. If you react, you are dancing to their music. If you stay silent, you are the conductor. Silence also exposes the attacker to the judgment of everyone watching. Without a conflict to distract them, the audience sees the aggressor for exactly what they are: petty, desperate, and unworthy. Think of silence as a mirror. When someone throws dirt at a mirror, they just see themselves looking dirty. Your silence lets their own behavior condemn them. You don't have to destroy your enemies. Sometimes, you just have to step back and let them destroy themselves. Master this weapon. Let your silence speak louder than any insult ever could. Section 5. The strategy of retaliation. Let's be clear about something. Silence is powerful, but it is not a sign of surrender. There are moments in life when a response is required, not out of anger, but to set a precedent. The difference between a weak man and a Machiavellian is not if they strike back, but how and when. The weak man retaliates immediately. He is sloppy, emotional, and predictable. He swings wild and usually misses, making himself look even worse. The Machiavellian, however, waits. He watches, he calculates, he lets the heat of the moment dissipate until he has total clarity. Machiavelli wrote that a wise prince never takes revenge while angry. Anger clouds the judgment and causes you to reveal your cards too early. But when you wait, you gain the advantage of timing. You wait until your enemy has lowered their guard. You wait until they think the conflict is forgotten. And when you finally move, the strike is so precise and so devastating that no one dares to cross you again. Retaliation does not have to be a loud argument or a physical confrontation. In the modern world, the most brutal retaliation is often the quiet withdrawal of your value. You stop providing your expertise. You stop offering your support. You remove your presence from their life. You let them fail under the weight of their own incompetence because you are no longer there to prop them up. This is cold. It is calculated, and it is exactly how powerful people operate. They do not announce their revenge with a roar. They execute it with a whisper. By the time their enemy realizes what has happened, the trap has already closed. Revenge is a dish best served cold, but only if you have the patience to let it freeze. Section 6. Indifference, the highest form of power. There is a level of power beyond silence and even beyond strategic retaliation. It is a state of mind called indifference. Indifference is the most devastating thing you can ever communicate to someone. It is more brutal than anger and more terrifying than a threat. When someone disrespects you and you genuinely do not care, you have reached a level of power that 99% of humanity will never touch. This is not about acting unbothered while you're secretly fuming. This is the real thing. It is a state of mind where the opinions of small people simply cannot reach you. They exist beneath your level of attention. Indifference says, "You are irrelevant to me. Your words have no weight. Your existence has no impact on my reality. You are a background character in my story, and I don't even remember your name." This destroys people, especially those who attacked you, hoping to feel significant. They wanted to matter to you, even if only as an enemy. But when you look through them, like they are made of glass, you deny them that significance. You leave them haunted by their own insignificance. Machiavelli understood that attention is a form of currency. Whatever you focus on, you give power to. If you argue with a fool, you elevate him to your level. If you defend yourself against every false accusation, you legitimize the accusers. But when you remain indifferent, you starve them. You cut off their oxygen. You become untouchable, not by fighting every battle, but by choosing which battles deserve your energy. Most conflicts are just distractions, designed to pull you away from your purpose. The powerful recognize this. They refuse to be derailed by people who won't matter in 5 days, let alone 5 years. Cultivating indifference takes practice. Your ego will scream for you to defend your honor. You must learn to ignore that scream. Protect your energy like it is gold, because it is. An indifferent man cannot be baited, manipulated, or controlled, and that makes him the most dangerous man in any room. Section 7. The Untouchable Reputation. The ultimate goal is to build a reputation that serves as a shield, so you never have to fight these battles in the first place. You want to walk into a room and have people think twice before they even consider disrespecting you. This isn't about being a bully. It's about being an architect of your own image. Machiavelli knew that perception often matters more than reality. How do you build this? First, you must become excellent at something. Power respects competence. When you are undeniably great at what you do, you become an asset that people cannot afford to lose. Your skill becomes your armor. Even your enemies will have to show you a level of respect because they need what you have. Second, you must be consistent. People study your patterns. If you remain composed under fire time and time again, the word will spread that you cannot be rattled. This consistency builds a wall around you. People will learn that testing you is a waste of time. Third, you must enforce your boundaries firmly but without emotion. If someone pushes too far, you don't explode. You simply enforce the consequence. You show the world that crossing you has a cost. Once the risk of disrespecting you outweighs the potential reward, the disrespect will stop. Finally, embrace mystery. Don't reveal everything about yourself. Don't explain your every move. The unknown is intimidating. When people can't quite figure you out, they tread carefully. They assume you know more than you show. They assume you are capable of more than you reveal. Build your reputation brick by brick, day by day. Make yourself into someone who is respected before you even speak. When your name alone commands respect, disrespect becomes a rare and foolish act that only the ignorant attempt. Section 8. Dark Psychology and the Truth of Human Nature. To master these tools, you must be willing to look at the darkness within human nature. Most people live in a fantasy world where everyone is kind and fair. They get crushed because they are unprepared for the reality of the game. Machiavelli didn't write for dreamers. He wrote for realists. Dark psychology isn't about being evil. It's about removing the blindfold. Understand that people are driven by self-interest. Even when they appear helpful, there is often a calculation behind it. This isn't cynical. It's observant. When you understand that everyone is playing a game, you stop being a pawn and start seeing the moves before they happen. Envy is the silent killer of relationships. Your success will make people uncomfortable. It will remind them of their own stagnation. They will smile at you while secretly hoping you stumble. Recognize the signs, the backhanded compliments, the faint praise, the friends who are nowhere to be found when you win. Fear is a more reliable tool than love. Love is conditional and fades when it becomes inconvenient. But the fear of consequences stays in the mind. You don't need to terrorize people, but you must be someone who cannot be crossed without a heavy price. Watch how people treat those they perceive as below them. That is their true face. The mask only stays on when they see you as a threat or an authority. Dark psychology is about seeing the game clearly so you can play it masterfully. The world rewards those who understand its true nature. Now that you have this understanding, use it wisely. Section 9. The Final Command. You have reached the end of this blueprint, but this is not where it stops. This is where your new life begins. Everything I have shared is worthless if you do not apply it. Knowledge without action is just a daydream. You didn't come here to be entertained. You came here to be transformed. Here is your final command. Become the man who cannot be touched, not because you are hiding, but because you have built yourself into something the world cannot break. This is your mission now. Every day, you must work on your mind, your skills, your emotional control, and your reputation. The weak take days off. The powerful understand that growth is a lifelong war. You are in a battle with the old version of yourself, the version that was a slave to his emotions, the version that cared too much about what people thought. That man must die so the new version of you can rise. From this moment on, you will handle disrespect differently. You will not explode. You will not crumble. You will not give anyone the satisfaction of seeing you lose control. Instead, you will pause. You will observe. And you will choose your response like a chess master. You will walk into rooms and command respect without saying a single word. You will become the man others study and wonder about. Let them wonder. Let them fear what they cannot understand. The principles are eternal. Human nature hasn't changed in 500 years, and it won't change tomorrow. Master these principles, and you master life itself. No one is coming to save you. No one can do this work for you. Your circumstances don't determine your destiny. Only your choices do. The choice is yours. It has always been yours. Right now, I want you to make a declaration. In the comments below, write these words: I am untouchable. Don't write it as a wish. Write it as a commitment to yourself. Let it be the first act of your new life. If this message reached you, hit the like button. It tells me that this work is reaching the right people. Subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. We are building a community of men who refuse to be ordinary men who are committed to power, discipline, and self-mastery. This is your path now. Walk it without fear. Walk it without hesitation. And never, ever let anyone make you forget what you are becoming. I am untouchable. Now, go and prove it.